Most people think their money is safe. They see a paycheck hit their bank account and feel secure, like they're winning at life. But here's the hard truth. You're actually poorer than you think. Not because you make less money, but because of two sneaky things that almost nobody talks about enough: inflation and your everyday habits. Let me ask you, have you ever noticed how your groceries cost more than last year? Or how skipping that morning coffee doesn't seem to make a dent in your savings? If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. These small, invisible forces are slowly eating away at your wealth without you realizing it. So, you want to know exactly how your money is quietly disappearing right under your nose? Stick with me, because I'm about to break down what's really draining your wealth in a way that's easy to understand and actually useful. Let's break it down a bit more. Inflation. That's a fancy word for prices going up over time. Think about it like this. If a loaf of bread cost $2 last year, but this year it costs $2.20, that's inflation. Your dollars don't stretch as far as they used to. Sounds simple, right? But here's where most people get it wrong. Even if your income stays the same or goes up a little, if it doesn't go up faster than inflation, your actual buying power is shrinking. In other words, you can't buy as much with your paycheck as you did before. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you make $3,000 a month, and last year a basket of groceries cost you $300. This year, inflation is at 5%, so that same basket now costs $315. If your salary only increased by 3% to $3,090, you actually have less money left over after groceries. Your paycheck grew, but your expenses grew faster. This is happening right now, not just to you, but to millions of people. Quietly, without most even noticing. And here's the kicker. Your daily habits add fuel to the fire without you realizing it. Spending small amounts here and there, like that daily $5 coffee or impulse buys from your phone, might seem harmless. But those small purchases chip away at your potential savings over time. Think of it like a slow leak in a tire that eventually leaves you stranded. Does this sound familiar? If so, you're definitely not alone. Imagine this. You make $3,000 a month. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, here's the catch. Let's say inflation is 5% a year. What does that actually mean for you? Well, even if you don't spend a single extra cent, your $3,000 next year will only buy what $2,950 buys today. Think about that. Just because prices go up, your money loses value all on its own. You haven't touched your savings, but your buying power is already smaller. Now, add in your daily spending habits. Maybe it's a $5 coffee every morning, or those spontaneous online purchases, a little here, a little there. Alone, they seem harmless. But over a year, those $5 coffees 5 days a week add up to over $200. And that's just one habit. Multiply that by impulse buys, eating out, subscriptions you barely use. Those small money leaks add up quickly, hundreds or even thousands of dollars leaving your pocket without you noticing. This is where most people get it wrong. They think, it's just one coffee, or I only spend a little here and there. But think about it like this. It's the same as filling a bucket with a tiny hole in the bottom. You keep pouring money in, but if you don't fix the hole, the water will keep leaking out. I've been there myself. I used to shrug off these small expenses until one day I realized how much they were eating into what I could save or invest long term. If this sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. So, what's the fix? How do you stop losing money without even realizing it? First, you have to accept one simple fact. Inflation is very real. And it's not going away anytime soon. Because prices keep climbing, you need to factor inflation into your financial goals. That means your money can't just sit in a regular savings account where it barely grows. You need to invest it in assets that at least keep up with inflation, things like stocks or index funds that tend to grow in value over time. Let me give you a simple example. If inflation is 5% a year, but your savings only grow 1%, you're effectively losing 4% of your money's buying power every year. But if your investments can grow 7% or 8%, You're actually gaining ground over inflation. It's not about becoming a Wall Street expert. It's about making your money work smarter so you don't fall behind. Now, the other piece of the puzzle is your habits. This is where most people get it wrong. They ignore the small daily leaks. The solution? Start by auditing your spending. Seriously, write down or use a simple app to track every dollar you spend for a few weeks. You'll be shocked at where your money goes. Once you see the patterns, it's time to cut the leaks. And don't worry, this doesn't mean you have to give up everything you enjoy. It's about replacing luxury habits with smarter, easy choices that don't feel like a sacrifice. For example, if you buy coffee every morning, try brewing it at home just a few days a week. It's a small change, but could save you dozens, even hundreds of dollars a year. Think about it like this. Freeing up even $20 or $30 a week by fixing these small habits adds up quickly and gives you extra cash to invest, not just spend. Over time, that cash grows and compounds, actually building wealth instead of disappearing down little holes. If this sounds like a challenge, start small, be consistent, and watch how your mindset and bank account both transform. All right, here's the big takeaway I want you to remember. Your wealth isn't just about how much money you make. A lot of people focus only on increasing their income, getting that raise, finding a side hustle, or landing a better job. But the truth is, it's just as much about how much you keep, and, more importantly, how well your money works for you against inflation. Think about it like this. You could be earning the same amount of money year after year, but if inflation is silently eating away at the value of those dollars, and your spending habits quietly chip away at your savings, then your financial situation is actually getting worse. You might feel like you're holding steady, but in reality, you're becoming poorer, slowly, almost invisibly. So here's a question for you. Are you tracking what habits you can change today to stop this slow drain? What small expenses can you cut back on or swap for smarter choices? And how will you protect your income and savings from shrinking over time? Because if you don't take action, the cost of doing nothing is a loss you won't easily recover from. Remember, nobody else is going to do this for you. Your future self will thank you for starting right now, whether that's by learning more about smart investing or taking a hard look at your spending habits. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. So, what's one small step you can take today to protect and grow your wealth?